Welcome back to the channel. I've been asked by Dave Scott over at Evil Genius Games to talk just a little bit about their newest project, which is tied to their Everyday Heroes role-playing games system. They're launching a new Kickstarter on 27th of May, so timestamp now. What are we on today? About the, oh my god, I don't know what date it is, about the 24th something. So about 3 or 4 days time from now, they're launching a brand new game that is part of the Everyday Heroes role-playing game system, if I can even speak. The new game is based upon the cult classic. It's a favourite of mine. 1985 film, The Return of the Living Dead. Trust me, this is going to be wild. I have loved this film since it came out. I'm a man of a certain age, so I saw it in theatres, in cinemas, when it came out in the mid 80s. Absolutely loved it. The Everyday Heroes system, if you're not familiar with it, it's a kind of modern day rule set. It's using the 5e rule set itself. So it's using the sort of system that's D&D is based upon, and that sort of thing. But obviously this is an up to date kind of rule set in terms of they produce games based upon kind of blockbusters, kind of action film IPs. So you've got a whole range of stuff that Everyday Heroes has released so far in terms of some of the action movie classics. So you've got the likes of Rambo, The Crow. You've got Total Recall. God, I just watched that film again just a few nights ago. The Schwarzenegger version, not the Colin Farrell newer version. I like Farrell, but geez, don't mess with the greatest. Escape from New York as well. Another one of their what probably my favorite. One of my is it my favorite John Carpenter film ever? Probably not, but it's practically up there, one or two. So they produce all these great sort of games tied to their Everyday Hero system, the 5e system. Um, their latest one, as I say, is the Return of the Living Dead. Let me just tell you a bit about the film, just in case you're not familiar with the film. So it was made in what 1985. It was at the time slightly controversial in terms of it was approaching the whole zombie genre slightly different. So you obviously had Night of the Living Dead in what 1969, George A. Romero, which is one of my favorite films ever, still is. But the 85 classic was bringing in it's often called a kind of horror comedy punk type effect. And it did redefine in many ways the zombie genre. And I know that many people, there are some, not many, but I get that maybe there are many, I don't know. But there are some people that are still thinking in terms of the zombie genre now, and maybe has passed its peak with the whole Walking Dead stuff. And I must admit, I'm a huge Walking Dead fan, or certainly was back in the day. And I'm looking forward to watching 28 years later. They'll be coming out pretty soon. Um, but yeah, the whole zombie thing has periodically gets kind of revitalized, and this is one example. When this film came out, it divided opinion a little bit because I must admit personally, I'm not necessarily a huge fan of comedy horror. It has to be done, right. It has to be done well for me. I like my horror. The two genres don't always mix, but sometimes they do. Um, a American Werewolf in London, classic example of comedy and horror done brilliantly well. And this film as well stands up. I watched it recently again, Night of the Living Dead, even before Return of the Living Dead, sorry, even before I'd even been asked by Dave to just talk briefly about their Kickstarter. Um, but in this film, it's kind of putting aside some of these tropes. So in the Return of the Living Dead, a group of workers accidentally release a gas that reanimates the dead. Um, and it creates a whole bunch of zombies, but not just any zombies. These zombies eat brains. And so headshots don't kill them. A lot of the tropes traditionally of this shambling zombie, do you like that impression? It was good. The rambling, shambling zombie thrown out the window. These moved at kind of normal human speed, I believe, if I remember correctly. Um, and the genius of Return of the Living Dead was to kind of refer to the Night of the Living Dead, the George A. Romero classic, um, as a kind of real events type thing that had been hushed up by the authorities, and the things had been changed. So the rules of zombies had been changed, but they weren't aware of this. They refer it in the film, the original film, as a kind of this is how zombies work, and basically chaos ensues in this film because zombies don't behave how the film portrays them, because it was all changed. It's all very clever. It's all very funny. It's hilarious at times, but also it's genuinely horrific as well. So this now is becoming a role playing game. What I'm going to do in a moment is show you just a little bit in terms of the Kickstarter, and you can just have a look at the page and get a feel of what this game is going to look like. It's designed by Nick Lowe. Nick Lowe's done works with Modifius and a whole range of other stuff. Is renowned within the TTRPG community. He did the Cohorts Cthulhu game. And so the whole game itself is taking this film and kind of bringing this whole thing together in terms of what you can play and how you can play it in role playing game. So let's have a look at the Kickstarter page. I'll show you the Kickstarter page. We'll have a brief look through. I'm going to give you an idea of how you can play this. It's only going to be a kind of slight dive into this. I'm not going to do a deep dive into the mechanics. I'll let other people do that, because for me, I don't. No one wants to listen to me talk for 20 minutes about the intricacies of the mechanics that they use for this, even though they do look great. They do look great. So let's have a look at the Kickstarter page, and we can have a look to see some of the things that you can play. Okay, so here's the Kickstarter page for the Return of the Living Dead official TTRPG. As you can see here, we've got a number of things on the screen. It starts, as I say, 27th of May. And you've got a heap of stuff that gives you information about. Some of that I've kind of talked about a little bit. But you've got a whole heap of stuff. This looks great. So if this, in terms of what is going to be coming out, I want all of this. So you've got the iconic film being celebrated, 40 years. Jeez, is that 40 years since I've seen it? Oh my god, 40 years. Where you've then got a number of things in terms of some basic information about the film itself, but also as well then about the game. And tells you a little bit here in terms of the zombie rules. So it gives you a little bit of information in terms of what's going to be taking place in the game, rules for zombification, the deadly 245 trioxin that causes it. So that's that kind of gas that initially turns the dead into zombies. A little bit in here in terms of the special zombie types: torment, split dogs, half corpses, skeletal burners, and more. I'm going to tell you about one of the zombie types in just a moment, or one of the classes that you can play, which is, I think, it's going to be what I play. It's going to be what I choose. You've got this thing here based upon true events. I love this. I love the fact that it kind of purports to do all this. And a little bit of information about the Everyday as Hero system. So what will be happening with this is, obviously, as we go through, as Evil Genius Games go through the Kickstarter. What we've got, 2,000 followers. Oh, right, this is going to hit the ground running, isn't it? This looks great. This looks really good, and I will be doing what I can. In terms of certainly getting my hands on this stuff. This looks so good. This game looks great. I talked about one of the classes. Let me just show you this. So received this just a couple of days ago. Let me just enlarge this slightly. There we go. What might be one of the options? There's a number of things that have been sent through. I received something this morning about playing one of the characters in the laboratory, one of the technicians, and how you can play that. But as I mentioned in the, I don't know if I did mention this, but in this game, one of the great things about what I love about this game, or what could be great about this game, is that you can play as a zombie, and that is exciting. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking zombies, that rambling, shambling sort of thing of, how can zombies have characters? How can they have agency? How can they have, whatever? But as I mentioned, in this 85 film, it stopped portraying zombies as different, as it was maybe having being able to communicate for a start with each other, being able to plan to have some, not how they depicted, say, in the Walking Dead. And like I say, I love the Walking Dead. Always see myself as a kind of Rick Grimes hero character. I know you're probably looking at that now, thinking, yeah, hero, save us all from the apocalypse. That's Stuart, definitely. Actually, no, I would be that guy that's holed up in his flat, that in his apartment. He hasn't come out of the apartment for 6 months, and wants to kill everybody who comes near him, um, shouting in and be in the corner screaming, "We're all going to die! We're all going to die!" That would be me. I wouldn't be the hero, obviously, but I'd like to think I would be. As I mentioned, this game lets you play zombies, which is great. So you can, there are options then for not just being the villain of the piece, as zombies are all often portrayed, actually becoming maybe the hero of the story, or at least like playing zombies as the humans being the true villains of the piece. If you want to play the game that way, you could also have, looking through the information that have been sent. Evil Genius Games, Dave Scott was good enough to send a whole package of stuff that's in process. That's in kind of like it's being worked on. It's not the finished product by any means. For example, the rules and the adventures are all in a kind of written manuscript at the moment, and they will be prone to change and adaptation. I'm sure of it. Playtests are going to be done. I'm hoping to do the playtest for the adventure that they sent. But what's really exciting is that you could have a whole team of your role playing friends, all playing zombies. All playing zombies. This could be great in terms of the different types of zombies that you can play. So what I was sent through was this Raging Dead class, which is so good. I mean, look at that artwork. That is stunning. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to put it on my background and save it. I hope that's not copyright, Dave. I hope you don't mind. That looks good. So the Raging Dead, strong hero. And it gives you a bit of gumph here. So you must have the Living Dead origin to select this class. You're one of the rageful dead, capable of channeling the constant agony that accompanies reanimation into a powerful weapon. Through the use of exterior pain, you can ignore the burning hunger for brains. That's nice. That plagues the living dead. You can become a potent ally for any living survivors, or a powerful bioweapon secretly deployed by the US Army. Boo hiss. The Rageful Dead is a pain-fueled, undead abomination, if I could even say that. Using the pain and fury of the grave, the Rageful Dead is a formidable killing machine, hell-bent on ripping open an opponent's skull and feasting upon the grey matter inside. An everyday occurrence. And then you got some information here about, I mean, if that doesn't grab you, I don't know what does with this game. So then you've got a few details of the various mechanics that would take place in terms of saving throws and skills and so forth. And some of the talents. So what do you get at level 1? Pain diversion. As a reaction, whenever you take damage, you ignore the negative effects of the pain of being dead. That's nice. Until the end of your turn. Good. Always a good thing. As a bonus action for level 1, you can inflict pain on yourself. Weird. Causing you to immediately suffer 1 piercing or slashing damage, ignoring armor. Okay. When you do, you ignore the negative effects of the pain of being dead. Got you. Until the end of your next turn without needing to spend a reaction. I see now. You've also got another whole heap of information here. You can have a look at this. I hope they don't mind me showing this because this was sent out in a kind of newsletter. So I'm sure it's kind of in public domain now. You've also got, what we'll have a look, Skull Busting Bite for level 5. So when you move to level 5, you may use your power attack to deliver a devastating bite to your opponent's skull in order to get their delicious brains. Delicious brains. When making a bite attack, you can use both your reckless attack and power attack talents. Nice. Let's go down to level 9. Channel Pain. While under the effects of your pain diversion talent, your reckless attack does not grant your opponents advantage on their attacks against you. So, how good does that sound? How does that sound? So you've got a whole heap of stuff here. I think I may have mentioned this already when I looked at the Kickstarter. You've got your rules for zombification on the page. You've got the a little bit about how you can sort of play this, and lots of this stuff will be appearing. I know that Dave has mentioned that they will be updating a lot of their socials, and a lot of information about some of the things that are done, things like I'm doing now, but many other people will be doing this stuff as well, because I think this is going to get a whole heap of. This looks great. I'm going to be getting this. I'm going to be playing this hopefully pretty soon. The information, as I say, is going to be updated on a regular basis. The Kickstarter itself starts in just a few days' time. Have a look at it, see what you think. This looks great. This looks seriously good. So, as I said, the good people at Evil Genius Games, Dave Scott, we're going to send me, or to send a Dropbox link to a whole heap of materials that are in process that's still being made for the game. They sent the manuscript, as I mentioned. They sent a whole heap of art and images and that sort of thing. Some of the things that you can see certainly on the Kickstarter page that I've just shown you. They also included an adventure. Now I think I'm right in saying that there will be other adventures that are included, but this is still a work in progress. This whole venture, hence the Kickstarter, and the adventure is actually a prequel adventure, which is kind of based upon the events that led up to the original '69 film, The Night of the Living Dead. The adventure is called Typical Army Fuck Up. And you get to play real versions of the Night of the Living Dead characters, which genuinely for me is exciting. And I've read through it. I'm not going to show you any of the images that have been sent, or certainly the information being sent. I'm not too sure in terms of how confidential all that stuff is at the moment. So I won't go into too many specifics. But believe me, this adventure is great. It allows you to play, like I said, characters from the film, but also as well from that original '69 film, but also as well the events that are leading up to this whole kind of breakout. And so you've got this whole sort of feel of a kind of time period piece to play, but you can play a whole number of characters. The game itself feels great. It looks great. For horror fans, I think horror fans are going to love this. I think people that like horror and comedy, I'm going to have to change my teeth or something. They are my real teeth, but I'm going to do something. If you're into your cinematic role-playing games, if you're into your horror, if you're into your kind of 5e rule system, which many of us are, then I think you're going to love this game. Check out the Kickstarter. As I say, it starts on the 27th, and have a look at it, see what you think. And at least give it a like or whatever. If you're going to support it, great. If you're just going to give it a like, whatever, spread the word, then do so. It looks great. Also, as well, I would very much appreciate it if you would like and subscribe to this channel. Drop a comments below. Drop comments on the film, what you thought, what you think of the film, the original film that it's based upon, what you think of the zombie genre, what you think of this particular, the ideas for this, and I'll reply back and tell you how right or wrong I think you are. So if you're excited about eating some zombie brains or some human brains or whatever, then go for it. I think you'll love it. I can't wait till it comes out. I'm going to be playing it. I hope in the next couple of weeks to be playing that adventure. I hope to be playing the Typical Army Fuck Up in a playtest with a group of my friends. I do have friends, it's great. I have a couple of friends, it's brilliant. So a few of my role-playing friends have said they were going to play, so we're going to try and get that and record it. We'll probably do it online and record it that way, and then see how it goes. Okay, so thanks for watching, and stay cool. All right, stay around. Bye-bye.